Hey there, and welcome to our Alpaka Momentum backpack review. Here at Nomads Nation, we have been reviewing the world's best EDC and travel gear for the past 7 years. And in this review, I'm gonna tear this bag apart. In this review, we're gonna fully pack the bag out, double check its advertised capacity. I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons and overall scores. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite sold that this is the backpack for you, I'm gonna make 2 alternative suggestions so you can find the best bag for your needs. Let's talk about the overview of the Alpaka Momentum backpack. If you don't know, Alpaka is an Australian Chinese carry brand, and they're known for just making killer gear. They move really fast and launch a lot of new products, and all their products are at a really cool middle ground between being premium, but not too premium, and affordable, but not too affordable. They're kind of in that middle zone. So the name of the game that Alpaka is playing, a lot of it has to do with value. Let me run you through some of the top features of the bag. This bag has a gnarly aesthetic due to the primary fabric, but I think most importantly of all is the fact that when I remove the packing cubes, you'll see it's very compressible and flattenable and pancakeable and malleable. And that's why it's marketed as a day bag, AKA the bag that you bring traveling, probably are compressing it in your larger backpack or suitcase. And then when you get to your destination, kaboom, this becomes your daily exploration pack. You got a quick access pocket at the top with a bit of internal organization, hidden back wallet pocket. My wallet was in there, I didn't even know. I lose things all the time in these bags. Clamshell style opening that opens via the back with a bit of internal organization and a laptop sleeve. And I think most notably of all, we got this harness system, which has a lot of chunk to it. A lot of beef, a lot of junk in the trunk going on. And this is different to your typical day pack, because think like the Matador Refraction. It's one of the most popular day packs in the market, especially a compressible one, and it compresses into a little ball like this. But that means while it can compress down smaller, it's not gonna have a lot of padding on it, versus this bag cannot compress, but it's got all this padding. Back panel, shoulder straps, ventilation, comfort, sternum strap. So I'd say from a unique perspective, what this bag is really bringing to the table is that gnarly aesthetic, but also being a compressible day bag that is not painful to wear. Alpaka claims this bag is 22 liters capacity. Let's double check that. Quick dimensions check, we got a height of 18 inches, 11 inches width, and around 8 inches depth. If you want to use this bag as a carry-on, it should work on basically every airline, but as a personal item, it will vary. You can see right here, we have a typical sizer for a US airline for a personal item, 18 by 14 by 8, and it fits very nicely. You can see we got the main compartment fully packed out with our factory grade measurement balls. Let's see what the capacity comes out to. So you can see right here, this is 20, and we're basically coming in at 21, 22 liters on the dot. Alpaka claims this bag is 1.5 pounds, but I'm actually getting 1.3 pounds. Either way, it's a very lightweight bag. As of recording, this bag comes in 2 color options. You got the gray grid and the black grid. Here is the bag when it is empty, and here is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8", and Jason Bagmoa is 6'2". All Alpaka bags are covered by their lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects, and I'm pretty active in this community. I'm always responding to comments on this channel, and I'm in like the threads on Reddit and stuff, and I gotta say, Alpaka seems to do a pretty good job of honoring their warranty, as there's usually not many complaints about it. And for all that, this bag runs around 160 USD. Now I know that this bag and a lot of the bags that we talk about here at Nomads Nation, they're not always cheap. They're a bit of an investment. So we wanna make sure that we hook you guys up so you can get the best price. So if you are thinking about making a purchase, we do recommend using the first link in the description. Again, because that link makes sure that you get the best price, but also we oftentimes have discount codes with the brands that we review. So if you wanna get the best price and access to those discount codes, which we always have with Alpaka, you can do so again with the first link below. Let's talk about the materials of the Alpaka Momentum backpack. Now, when it comes to materials, Alpaka is usually bringing the A game, starting with zippers. These are indeed YKK. Actually, let me just double check they are. That is confirmed. Best zipper maker on the planet, and basically a requirement as far as I'm concerned for a backpack at this price point. One thing though that I'm not crazy about is that we have 1, 2, 3 zippers, and 2 of them are PU coated. The back wallet pocket is not. You can see it's just a regular reverse zipper, but you can see in contrast, this zipper, boom, this zipper right here is PU coated, and that's that polyurethane plastic coating, which on the good side looks sleek and gives you additional weather protection. But on the bad side, it can peel and look like this. It's never a guarantee. It's just sort of, it depends if the zipper gods will bless you or curse you. Usually it has to do with how much humidity and exposure to sunlight the bag actually gets. But the good thing is if it does end up peeling on you, that does not fuck with the functionality of the bag. It's just aesthetics. Now the hardware, I'm not seeing any name brand on here, but Alpaka, I'd love to see this be Duraflex or Woojin. It should also be noted that we got this very early on as a sample unit from Alpaka as the Kickstarter actually started. So there may have been some slight changes and this may be like an early sample as to where maybe they use different hardware. But again, Alpaka honors their lifetime warranty, so if any of this hardware breaks on you, it should be replaced. The mesh, the padding, the shoulder strap construction, it's all top notch, but let's talk about the star of the show, which is the primary fabric. And this trippy as fuck material is Axodyne. Look at how gnarly this is. And it's like, it's just as trippy in person. Like it's got a little bit of a dizzying effect to it almost. Now real fast, let's double click into that. Axodyne is under the Axo fabric brand, which is Alpaka's in-house fabric brand, which is one of the coolest things about Alpaka is just how innovative they are. They actually make their own fabrics in-house. They have Axo Flux, which is their primary fabric, which comes in a ripstop and in black and in green. But this is different, man. The Axo Flux is kind of, I would say, more middle of the road. It's a great fabric, but like you've seen variations of it from competitors. But this, I haven't quite seen before. And what's interesting about this fabric is texturally, it's a little crunchy. You can hear that. It's not as crunchy as X-Pack is, but obviously it's got some stiffness to it, but that's a positive in a lot of ways, at least for me, because it's not too stiff where it's overly padded. It's stiff where it gets structure, but still providing some malleability for the bag. But here's the interesting thing about the fabric is it kind of has to be doubled up because the fabric by itself is actually transparent. So you can see right here on the water bottle pocket or the gusset inside, you can see my fingers, right? Because a single sheet of this fabric, you can see through it. And you can breathe through it as well. It's actually like ventilated. It's more like a mesh in that sense. It's more like a really structured, interesting mesh. Now that's gonna bring up some questions in terms of its weather resistance, but I think that given the fact that it's multi-layered, because you'll notice you can't see my hand from here, right? So they have at least one, two, a few layers in there, and I actually think that the base layer might be different. So Alpaka are gangsters with stuff like this. I'm sure this bag is as durable and as weather resistant as can be, but it's definitely a different fabric. And I think for many people, it will be the primary selling point as you're sick of regular, black, boring day packs. You want something that's got a little balls to it, and this bag's got a little bit of bite to it for sure. So at the price point for this bag, for its materials score, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I feel very confident that Alpaka just used great materials across the board and very innovative materials that help this bag to stand out in a very crowded market. Now, real quick note about that score and all the other scores in this review, they're personal, just based on my opinions and experience using this bag. It doesn't reflect the other members of Nomads Nation. We're just vibes over here, guys. We're not scientists, we're just bag reviewers, goddammit. All right, time to pack out the Alpaka Momentum backpack. Here I got a bunch of stuff that I might use on a potential day trip to a new destination. In this hypothetical scenario, we're going to Auckland. We're already in Auckland, actually. We've landed. And now it's time to go explore. Here's what I got for the hypothetical Auckland trip. First of all, it's a little chilly in Auckland. So in case I get a runny nose, I got my tissues that I'm gonna put in this front pocket, some emergency vitamin C in case I feel under the weather, Tylenol as well. You can see in this front pocket that we have smaller pockets inside, but it's a little chaotic in there. And that's one thing about this bag is like, you gotta get kind of used to that trippy aesthetic. It's just like, it's just kind of like, whoa, hold on. We've got a key leash on here as well, as you can see, still wrapped in plastic because I've never used it, but you can attach your keys. This pocket itself has a little bit of depth to it, so you can fit maybe your hard shell sunglasses in there. And then you can see you got the single zipper, it's PU coated. This is kind of a quick access pocket-ish. Kind of, not really. You can swing the bag around and access there, but it's very far north in the bag, so it's not as easy as if the pocket was here. In the back pocket, I'm gonna throw my wallet, also a good spot for your passport and or boarding pass. And then the main compartment, with this back clamshell style opening, you got a pocket power mesh up here. I freaking love power mesh for a pocket like this because it's got a nice elasticity to it. It feels premium to the touch, very satisfying. For me, I'm just gonna throw my gum in there, as well as an adapter and a pen. This zipper is a little annoying to get access to because it sort of pushes against this panel. So you gotta kind of maneuver around to get it, but it has some nice volume to it, so it's not a super tight pocket. Now for the laptop sleeve, it says it can fit up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. This is our 3D 16-inch MacBook Pro cutout. You can see it slides on in very nicely. Again, see the transparency of this fabric. Red, not red. Red, not red. The sleeve itself, I'd say, is okay in terms of laptop protection. You're obviously gonna have a lot of protection on the back panel due to all of this padding here. There's not really much protection on this fabric though, so you're not getting a lot of front protection. But we do have a very nice false bottom. We can see the laptop is actually, it ends right here. So you've got all this space, which means if you drop the backpack, your laptop's not gonna get damaged. In the main compartment, we have this gusset right here, which can kind of be used to store something like an umbrella. I'll show you how that works in a sec. But yeah, we can go ahead and put our tech pouch number 1, tech pouch number 2. Got my over-the-ear headphones and my Unbound Merino hoodie. And that's what we need for the Auckland day trip, guys. That's it. It's more than I'd ever bring. That's traveling pretty heavy, but I wanna be prepared today. Now, on the side, you see right here, that's this gusset. You can use to also place something on the outside of the gusset, like your umbrella, or potentially a water bottle that's then easier to grab. Last few notes on the Packout. This is not a great self-standing bag. It has, it's not really a flat bottom. It's a bit of a curved bottom, and given the more malleable nature of this fabric, it's not gonna self-stand very well. And that should be about it. Now let's jump into the next section and talk about the comfort of the Alpaka Momentum backpack, which, as I mentioned before, for a compressible backpack is extremely good. Compared to, like, you know, a full-on tech work EDC backpack like the Air Pack Pro 2, we're definitely jumping down a notch. But in the compressible backpack category, of which this bag exists in, it's cozy, man. Backpack comfort's gonna come down to a few different things. Shoulder straps gotta be wide enough. These are actually a little bit thinner than I prefer, coming in at less than 2.5 inches, but given the lightweight nature of the bag, it works fine. Padding is good. We've got the mesh for ventilation on the back panel as well, plus this slot right here, which you can get a little extra airflow. And then what takes us to the next level is the fact that this compressible bag has a sternum strap, which for me, again, just helps to elevate that comfort. A lot of compressible bags try to stay as minimalist and dangle-free as possible, which I do appreciate, but that means a lot of them skip out on the sternum strap, which I don't appreciate because this just helps increase the comfort so much. Especially when you got a long day tour in the city. You know, we're going to Auckland for 10 hours today. I'm seeing everything, and this is gonna be on my back the entire time. And this sternum strap just helps to redistribute the weight from your lower back to your torso. I am the biggest advocate of sternum straps. The back panel feels great too, nice and beefy. And to top it all off, we have dangle stoppers at the bottom of the shoulder strap and on the sternum strap, helping to just give you a more streamlined experience. So all these reasons combined is why, for its category, I'm gonna give this bag a 5 out of 5 for comfort. Now again, compared to like EDC, tech bags, Air, Able Carry, we're not 5 out of 5. But this is a compressible day bag. So in that category, it's giving you everything that you could ask for. Next up, let's talk about the functionality of the Alpaka Momentum backpack. So we kind of got it all working together now, right? The bag's fully packed out. I would say that this top pocket is nice to access when you are sitting next to the bag, not as much when you're wearing the bag. So from a quick access perspective, it's good, but not great. You can see we've got a nice amount of volume there, so I can fit something bulkier. I think that seeing what's happening in this pocket can be really challenging though, especially with the internal lining matching the external. There's just a lot going on. So that's just a little dizzying at worst, or just confusing at best. Key leash being here isn't my favorite, a little bit more difficult to access, but again, you're not probably using your key a lot, and if you do have a key, it's probably just your Airbnb, so it's okay to kind of take the bag off, put it down and grab it. Let me remove this plastic so I can show you something about Alpaka key leashes, because they're not my favorite because they're bulky, but they are magnetic, which means it can disconnect, which means that it does get you a couple extra points in terms of accessibility. I didn't love the back pocket. It was a little difficult to get in and out of when the bag was emptier. And that's because of the malleable nature of the bag. When it's more fully packed out though, it's significantly easier to zip and to unzip and to grab what you need. Yeah, it kind of gives it that structure that I was missing before. No water bottle pockets on the exterior is also going to be a deal breaker for many people. And Alpaka clearly had some real estate to work with, so it would not have been impossible to put a water bottle pocket here. Top handle, rocks, well padded, easy to grab. You've also got a hanging loop right here, ideal when you get to your Airbnb or your hotel. You can just pop the bag up and then it won't destroy or compromise this handle. Nice little touch, actually. The tech compartment is very accessible. Sometimes when you have a laptop in the main compartment like this, you've got a panel here, which then makes it hard to grab your laptop. But you can see the panel has been removed for very quick and seamless laptop access. And again, it's pretty well protected. Now that the bag's fully packed out, the false bottom's doing some good work. If the bag had a very bad false bottom, you hear that like that plastic on the wood, more of a knocking sound. So very well protected there. And finally, let's do a luggage pass-through test. I think that compressible backpacks, or let's say flattenable backpacks like this, make great suitcase companions because they're very light. You can put it in the suitcase if need be. And as long as it has the luggage pass-through, then you can, double up, and it just makes the bag significantly more versatile. Now, my favorite compressible day pack of all time is the Aer Go Pack 2. It's no question as to which I'm always comparing other compressible bags to, and I usually travel with that as my go-to suitcase companion. But this is actually quite nice. A little bit tight, but we got plenty of reinforced stitching, bar tack stitching. The actual webbing here for the luggage pass-through has a nice width to it. No complaints about this, and most importantly, it allows you to carry your bag upright, which for larger bags, not everyone likes, but for a smaller bag like this, it's the only way. There is no other way. Oh, and one final note, we do have some lash points here, which are great for carrying gear. What's nice is that they're actually a little bit lower on the shoulder strap. Sometimes people put their lash points here, and then when you're wearing the bag, they're less accessible. These are actually quite accessible. I wasn't sure how I felt about the back clamshell style access, but you can see it works pretty nicely. It opens well, you can get in there and grab what you need. I still think that I prefer like a traditional clamshell style opening, but this is actually got a lot going on. It kind of slaps too. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for functionality, final answer. Now real fast, if you're enjoying this review, you might be a bit of a bag nerd, or at the very least, you really like to travel, maybe you're into everyday carry and just quality gear. And if that's the case, you might be happy to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And that newsletter is a one-of-a-kind resource for anybody who's in this community. Right now, we have over 11,000 subscribers. And what we do with the newsletter is pretty simple. We're just coming to your inbox on a weekly basis, letting you know the newest releases, limited edition drops, industry trends, and everything in between. And I have a very unique perspective on this industry because I review bags full-time, as my living, my profession. But I also have my own backpack brand on top of it. So I'm coming from like the business side and the consumer side. And if you're into this kind of stuff, I guarantee you there's nothing else like this on the web. So if you want to find out more and join the Nomads Nation newsletter, you can do by finding this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Next up, let's give the overall scores for the Alpaka Momentum backpack. Here's where the bag's gonna get dinged a little bit is in terms of value. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. Doesn't mean bad. I would say for my scores, like anything less than 2 is where you get into like bad territory. 2.5 is average, like 5 is the best, 0 is the worst. 2.5, we're kind of in that middle zone because I'm a little surprised as to how expensive this bag is at 160 USD. I think actually a lot of what you're paying for is innovation with this fabric. I'm sure this fabric is not cheap to make. Also, I know that backpack prices and really just living prices are just raising in general. So, this bag probably would have been $100 a couple of years ago. But at the same time, checking out the Aer Go Pack 2, it's 100 USD. And that makes this bag, what, like 80% more expensive? Is it 80% better? No, it's not. And then looking at the Packed Stash Packable backpack, one that has some really nice color options and looks great, that's like 115 USD. So I'm just saying this is coming in at a very high price point. So until that changes, my value score is 2.5 out of 5. So quick score recap. For materials, we're giving the bag 4 out of 5. Comfort is a perfect 5 out of 5. Functionality is 4 out of 5. And value is 2.5 out of 5. For an overall score of 3.875 out of 5. Which is, yeah, like if you took the value aside, this would be an elite backpack, but given the high price, based on market standards, I think that's right around where it should land. Now remember though, value is in the eyes of the beholder, so if you are like, dude, fuck you and your value score, this thing is worth every penny. And if you're thinking about picking one up, remember, we have discount codes for Alpaka and for a lot of the brands that we work with. So if you wanna get the best price and get access to those discount codes, please make your purchase using the link in the description below. Real fast, let's just kind of summarize everything by giving my overall pros and cons. Pro number 1 is going to be the gnarly fabric. And that's going to contribute both to its functionality and its overall trippy aesthetic. It's just a unique looking bag. Pro number 2, I will admit, I thought it was gonna be a con, but this back clamshell kind of opening, it really works. And for pro number 3, it's gonna be the comfort. I gave it a perfect 5 out of 5 score. Again, for its class of compressible backpacks, this bag is as comfortable as it gets. But on the flip side, all bags have cons, and here are mine. Con number one for many is going to be the lack of a water bottle holder, which I don't fault brands for unless there was clearly the ability to add something there, which I think that there was. You've got a seam here, you've got a seam here. I think it could have been doable. Con number two is gonna be the confusion in this front pocket by choosing the same lining as we have the external pocket. So it's just a little, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's just hard to see what's going on in there sometimes. It makes me feel like I'm tripping balls. And con number three for me will be the price point. Coming in at $1.60 USD, it's higher than market standards, I'd say, for what the bag is actually bringing to the table. Okay, next up, let's talk about the alternatives to the Alpaka Momentum backpack. First things first, if you're new to Nomads Nation and you want to see what some of the best bags in the market are, you should definitely check out our leaderboard rankings video. In this video, myself and the rest of the Nomads Nation crew, we get together and we pick our favorite bags, and we are all bag nerds. We've tested out thousands of bags between us, and it's just the best way for you to see what the best options are on the market from different perspectives. I'm going ahead and link that above. Also, in case you're not aware, here at Nomads Nation, after reviewing hundreds of the world's best bags, we actually took on the challenge of making our own bag brand. And that brand is called Fyro. At Fyro, we're on a mission to empower modern professionals to feel streamlined and focused. And we've launched some game-changing bags to help accomplish that mission. We've got a sling, everyday carry backpack, lightweight travel backpack. We're working on our own compressible bag. It might be live by the time that you watch this review. So if you want to learn more about the bags that we make, you can do so at fyro.co or with the second link in the description below. But if we're very close with the momentum, here are two alternatives that specifically might get you just a little bit closer. First up, the bag that I brought up multiple times throughout this review is the Aer Go Pack 2. This for me is just the standard. All compressible bags are compared to it. This included, the Go Pack 2 wins in my opinion, as it's a little bit more functional, just as comfortable, and that front kangaroo pocket, it's really difficult to beat. And my second alternative will be the Packed Stash Packable. This is a great pick for you if, again, you're looking for a day pack, but the Aer Go Pack 2 is like, boring. I want some life to my bag. Packed is giving you that option, but in the form of just gorgeous colors. Packed's color selection is pristine. But that doesn't come at the cost of functionality. These bags are also awesome to wear, as you got a great quick access front pocket, a bit of internal organization, plus while still being packable and foldable and compressible. Honestly, all three bags are great. You just gotta pick the bag that best suits your needs. So to learn more about the two alternatives, you can just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you guys next time.